Live from the Big Beefy Man Cave in New Bedford, Massachusetts. This is the YouTube channel vlog show in which video games, flash game show gameplays, along with sports and wrestling news are the norm. This is the YouTube channel vlog show of positivity, good times, and fun. This is Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. And now, here's the host of the show, the perpetrator of these shenanigans, Big Beefy E himself, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Wonderful Announcer, sir. Well, hello there. This is my Big Beefy Man Cave here once again. I'm the perpetrator of the shenanigans of 1977, Mr. Eric Lima. You're watching my show, Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977. What's going on? What's happening, everybody? October 26, 2022, 10:07 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, just got done watching AEW Dynamite. Let's get right into it, please. Because there's a lot going on, and there's a lot going on. A lot going on tomorrow. Rant and Raid, the Halloween special. I'll be dressed up, so to speak. So let's get right into it. Tag team matchup. The Black Bull Combat Club versus the Jericho Appreciation Society war continues as Claudio Castagnoli, former Ring of Honor champion and former Ring of Honor peer champion Wheeler Yuta, took on the current Ring of Honor champions, the Ring of Honor World Champion Chris Jericho, the Ocho, and the current pure champion Daniel Garcia. In the end of the matchup, after all the craziness, Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli did pick up the victory. Renee Paquette, formerly known as Renee Young, for those of you all keep score, interviewed Bryan Danielson, formerly known as Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan says he was frustrated with everything going on. And then Wheeler Yuta was getting called out by Bryan Danielson. Both of them started arguing, and then William Regal and Claudio Castagnoli says enough. We'll just go win and kick some butt. And then Tony Schiavone interviewed the Jericho Appreciation Society, who have been crabbing about the loss. And Jericho decided to issue an open challenge to any former Ring of Honor World Champion for the title next week. Who is going to challenge Jericho? Well, we'll find out for sure next week. Meanwhile, FTR and Swerve and Our Glory battle in a number one contenders match for the AEW Tag Team titles. The Acclaim came out to watch the matchup while the Gun Club was sitting at ringside dressed as FTR. And during the match, and then towards the end of the matchup, the Gun Club got involved by holding Cash Wheeler back while Dax Harwood got pinned by Swerve and Our Glory. And the Gun Club started to attack FTR, but then the Acclaim came to the aid of FTR. There was a mutual respect between the two teams, maybe. But we have not seen. Well, we will not see the last of the Gun Club as of yet. And then Renee Paquette was interviewing her old friend Saraya. But then Britt Baker, being the total mean girl that she is, Dr. Britt Baker DMD, being the total mean girl that she is, interrupts Saraya. Saraya to start arguing. Renee Paquette says enough. We're going to do this. We're going to act like interview. We're going to do this like adults. Yep. Oh, sure. And then, after the commercial break, Renee Paquette, this is an interesting situation. Renee Paquette is married to Jon Moxley, AEW World Champion, and she's interviewing his opponent, MJF. I was like, this ought to be good. This ought to be probably the most interesting thing ever going on right now. MJF was talking about how he's going to beat Jon Moxley. He made fun of Jon Moxley a couple of times. But then all of a sudden, Stokely Hathaway interrupts MJF. And then MJF looks at him and goes, I want Jon Moxley at 110%. So that him and his Black Combat Club will have no excuses when he loses. But he warned Stokely Hathaway, if you even try to lay a hanger and figure on him, and if you look at him funny, you're fired. So I'm like, well, he better mean. I think he's gonna mean what he says, man. Better watch Stokely Hathaway. But we will not see the last of Stokely Hathaway as of yet. And then Matt Taven and Wardlow will face each other for Wardlow's TNT title. this coming Friday night. This is going to be an interesting matchup for sure. And so they're cutting promos on each other. And then Bryan Danielson went one-on-one with Sammy Guevara. Heck of a matchup. And then Sammy Guevara, heck of a matchup. But Danielson did pick up the victory over Sammy Guevara. Not a great night for the Jericho Appreciation Society. Or else I call them the Stupid Idiot Fan Club. Because Jericho always called people stupid idiots in the WWE. And tells them they make the list. So anyways, Renee Paquette once again interviewing Rey Fenix and Alex Abrahantes, members of the Death Triangle. And they were talking about how they're happy for Penta getting his shot. He said, well, you can get it and all that. And then Alex Abrahantes says, you might be going for the All-American, All-Atlantic Championship. Really? And Christian Cage and Luchasaurus says, you know what? You got beat by Jungle Boy, but Luchasaurus should get the shot. But then Orange Cassidy shows up with the All-Atlantic title and Jim Bagby. You know what? Let's do it next week. So next week, it will be the All-Atlantic Championship on the line as Mr. Orange Cassidy defends it against Rey Fenix and Luchasaurus. It's going to be a heck of a deal. And then the return of the inaugural AEW Women's Champion, a former champion, I should say, Riho, takes on Jamie Hayter. Match went back and forth. Sometimes Britt Baker and Rebel, they tried to get involved, but they decided to stay out of this. But in the end, Jamie Hayter did defeat Riho clean in the middle of the ring, prompting Toni Storm to come out, staring down at Jamie Hayter and just holding the title. And Toni Storm with that new hairstyle looks so freaking gorgeous. People say they should look like Marilyn Monroe. I think, I would take that. I think she's more beautiful. Toni Storm's more beautiful than Marilyn Monroe. And again, so is Hikaru Shida. Those are my two favorite girls from AEW. And Rebel, too. Those three, they're my favorites. And then Renee Paquette interviewed Eddie Kingston, and she asked him about she asked how you doing and all the action. Like, no, everything's just fine and all that. And he was like being sarcastic. He said, well, no, Penta, you're my man, but I gotta go with Mox in the end. So, everything's just fine. Something is up with Eddie Kingston, man. Something's up. We don't know what. And Darby Allin addressing why he has not been seen with Sting for a while. He says, he tells Sting he needs to do it on his own. He's not happy. Sting kind of understood. And he claims that Jay Lethal brought an old friend. You better tell your old friend and invite him to next week. So, and then Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal made a rebuttal talking about you don't have to worry about the old friend. You worry about us having a matchup. So whoever this old friend of Darby Allin's is on his way to AEW. They did a promo where Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and anybody associated with them kind of like disappears, like, when Thanos snaps his fingers, they're all gone. So we don't know what this means. Are they coming back? Are they, are they coming back after their lengthy suspension from the incident with CM Punk? Are they coming back? Are they actually leaving AEW? We don't know. So it'll be very interesting for sure of what happens there. Then, afterwards, the AEW World Title was on the line as Jon Moxley went defending the title against Penta El Zero Miedo. And it was a heck of a fight. Jon Moxley did win in the end. But then the Firm was on the scene, arriving and attacking MJF. Lee Moriarty, the Gun Club, W. Morrissey, Ethan Page. Lee Moriarty, Ethan Page, W. Morrissey, the Gun Club. And I forget who they outside. It was like they said 7-on-1 attack. And then as they were jumping Moxley, somebody locked up the Blackpool Combat Club in their locker room. And then MJF came out and was kind of conflicted, but he went to the back after seeing everybody attack MJF. But then MJF changed his mind, came out, pushed everybody firm away. He got right in Stokely Hathaway's face and says, "You're fired." Stokely Hathaway says, "Oh yeah, really?" And then the firm turned on MJF, attacking him. And then W. Morrissey put him through a table. After, again, the ego's edge from Ego and All Ego Ethan Page. It seems like now the firm needs a new leader, and I think Ethan Page, with his All Ego, should be the new leader of the firm. And I'm sure it's Stokely Hathaway. So, but is it all a ruse to make everybody think that MJF's actually turned over a new leaf? We don't know. We don't know for sure. So I think it's an interesting situation. So hopefully MJF will be all right. So maybe being engaged to a good woman like this Naomi, was it Rosenblum? I think her name is, and she's quite the artist. Maybe sometimes being married and engaged could change a man. I'm starting to gravitate towards MJF. He's pretty cool. He plays the part of the heel perfectly. He's an old school kind of guy, and I think I always say the old school is cool. Got to give it up to MJF. I hope MJF wins the title. I respect Jon Moxley. I think MJF deserves to be the future. And you know what though? MJF says it best. He's better than you, and you know it. So that will be it for tonight's show. For today's episode 115 of the show, AEW Dynamite Event Center of October 26, 2022. Remember, tomorrow is the Rant and Rave anniversary special. Not anniversary special. What am I thinking? Halloween special. Man, I think my brain's getting tired. Man, after I upload this video, maybe I need to go to bed. So, I made like David St. Dennis to go to bed. So, I'll see you guys on the next episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977 tomorrow on episode 116 of the show. Press Your Luck, number 7. Can't wait to play some big bucks and no whammies. All right? So, good night, everybody. For right now, until next episode. And Mr. Announcer, please take us home. That is all for today's episode. This is Mr. Lima speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, tour for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Sweet Bumbling Bofa Raver Telepictures and Distribution. See you next episode, and have a very blessed day.